Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to January 2012, and we got AnglersChannel.com Pro Staffer Rob Digh with us. Hope everybody's had a great holiday and a great New Year. And Robbie, right as we come out of the New Year earlier this week, we get the first blast of winter. It's been really cold in the south this week. Yesterday was 23. This morning was 20. Highs in the high 30s, low 40s. You're kind of feeling it settle in. But with that being said, nothing's slowing down in the state of Florida as tournaments are really starting to kick off. We still got some winter trails going on. You and I talked about this before the holidays kicked in. We think it's going to be a great season. We're going to talk about some of the tournaments coming up and what's going on.
Yeah, everything's going to start down south, John, and then it'll progress this way. But it would definitely be nice to be in Florida down there right now because it is a little chilly. But it's going to be a great year and some really good tournaments coming up this month.
Well, there really are. It starts with the Bassmaster Open, which I believe is that on the Harris chain later this month?
Yeah, it's on the Harris chain.
Yeah.
And then you got the PAA. It's going to be on Toho a little later, so. Some big tournaments stacking up.
Yeah, in late January. And then we also have a lot of team trails, which are going to be kicking off earlier than normal, especially a little bit further south. And if you go on the tournaments page of AnglersChannel.com, you're going to find that we've added more trails and more tournaments that we haven't been covering in the past for 2012, which is exciting for us because we get to continue to see which lakes are producing, what the weights are around the region and really around the country. With that being said, too, let's take a look at some of the tournaments you and I were looking at earlier. One lake that is really good in the spring, but maybe not so good now is Smith Mountain, and they've got their Winter Trail number 6 event up there this Saturday. In these types of conditions, Smith Mountain's 5 hours north of where we are. That's some cold weather.
Yeah, it's going to be a little icy putting the boat in, but I'm sure those guys are used to it, and they're prepared for. They might have a snow day here and there, so that would be an interesting lake to fish in the winter, and I'm sure there's some schooling fish up there. It's probably a pretty good tournament, as long as it don't get too cold.
Now, when it gets this cold and your water temperatures get into the low 40s, high 30s is unusual, I guess, but low 40s, what do you have to do?
John, you really have to slow down. You have to find some bait because the fish are not going to be moving around a lot. They're not going to travel a long ways to eat, so they're going to be around some bait, and they're going to reach up every now and then and give them some bait. So you have to fish an area that's got a lot of bait in it. You have to fish small baits and move them real slow.
All right, that's good advice. Now let's take a look at some of the other tournaments coming up. Barry's Team Trail, which we did cover last year, South Georgia. They're at Sinclair this coming Saturday, the 7th of January. Sinclair, if my memory is correct, is a lake that can get real dirty. But the rain's kind of stopped, so maybe not so dirty right now.
Yeah, it's got a hot hole on it, so there'll be some warm water discharge there, so the fishing will be really good there. There'll be some schooling fish there, and the shad will be grouped up.
Okay, well, we're going to get some details on that from Anglers Channel Pro Staffer Brad Sears, who does a great job giving us results from all the Barry's Team Trail events. We've also got Florida Bass Toho Division 3rd event on Toho this Saturday the 7th. Toho was a tremendous lake in 2011. Probably not a whole lot's going to change.
No, I mean, you're going to look for some big bags coming out of Florida down there, and, it's going to be some 9, 10, 11-pound bass.
Yeah, it's amazing what comes out down there. We've also got the Tampa Pro Bass on the Kissimmee chain, which is Sunday, January 8th. Again, all these tournaments are on the tournaments page of AnglersChannel.com. But the water temps, Robbie, in Florida right now are what, high 60s, low 70s?
Yeah, I don't know. I really hadn't been watching the weather that close, John, but as you get down to central Florida, these cold fronts that we get a lot of times, they'll zip down and they'll get central Florida. On down south, the water temperatures are probably still maybe in the 70s, but I would say central Florida are around, 58 to 60 degrees, and that does slow the bite down there. Those Florida string bass do not like cold weather. You can get a 1 or 2 degree temperature change in the water, and that'll give them lockjaw. I'm telling you, it will lock them down. And these northern string bass, it takes 5 or 6 degrees. It doesn't take much of a cold front down there to really make the fish hold tight. They'll hold really tight to cover, and you have to slow down and fish real slow. So, that's going to depend. The weather that we get in the next 2 or 3 weeks is going to depend on what kind of bags you see come out of Florida.
Wow, that's good stuff. Now, the other thing that we talked about pre-holidays is obviously all the team trails that are out there for 2012. And, I mean, there are a lot of them, you know, starting in East Tennessee with Tom's Marine, Morristown Marine. You know, you move east, Angler's Choice Marine Team Trail. You got the Green Boat and Motor Trail. You got the Carolina Bass Challenge, which is kicking off. You got all these trails in Florida, plus Barry's Team Trail we just talked about. HD Marine, Airport Marine in Alabama. I mean, we can keep going on and on. There's a lot of team trails out there that we think, as we said, the team trail format is hot right now.
It is, and you know, the way they're structuring these team tournaments, there's a lot of money out there to be won, and with the gas prices, you know, guys are, they're carpooling.
You know, one thing that they've done a great job is contingency dollars. A lot of these trails have gone out to Ranger, Triton, Stratus, and whether they've gotten 2X or Triton Gold or Ranger Cup to be affiliated with their tournaments, that makes a big difference.
It does, and you know, you can go out on a Saturday, you know, one-day tournament for $150, and you know, you can win $5-6 grand.
Yeah, no, that's
and that's a that's a pretty good day's work.
That's worth your time, right?
Yeah, every day.
Every day. Well, folks, as we said, Happy New Year. That's just we're just scratching the surface of what's coming up in 012. We also want you to know that the Progressive Bass wrap-up show is running on Sports South in first quarter every Sunday morning at 8 o'clock, so check your local listings for that. Robbie's show, The Outdoor Rush, runs every Thursday night at 7:30.
7:30, and then on Channel 64 Sunday mornings at 8:30.
And that's for people in the Charlotte market, Channel 64. So Sunday mornings at
8:30.
8:30. That's in March.
Yes, sir.
Boy, a lot going on, man. Well, I'll tell you what, we look forward to tracking everything. Hopefully we can keep up with it. Check back on the tournaments page almost daily for updates and new events and charity tournaments. I mean, they're just everywhere, and I think we've done a pretty good job at trying to track these things. So, Robbie, best of luck in 2012. Best of luck to everybody out there, and we'll see you next week with another report.